everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Codependent. This is a podcast about two people codependent on each other and talking about all the things we do with each other. That sounds weird.
Ooh, maybe not all of the things.
Maybe not all the things. I'm your host, Mac, with my co-host, as always, Alli.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a little while since we did an episode.
Yeah. Well, we were traveling for 2 weeks in the U.S. and then, as when you get home, then everything at work and life is always just a little crazier when you first get back from vacation. So, yeah.
That was not really the most vacation-y vacation. I don't know. I feel like when you go visit family, it's like always really nice, but it's always so busy and active. Like you do so much that it's like you get back and you're like, man, I really could use a vacation.
Yeah. You're not really getting away and like relaxing.
No.
So it is a vacation because you get to go see, especially for us because we live so far away, we only see certain people in our family once a year, other people 2 times a year. So it's not, so it is still a vacation because you get to go like spend time with your family and all of that, but it's not as relaxing.
Yes. It's like really fun, but it's like you're so busy that the whole time, like you're so active.
Yeah. Especially
when we go back and visit, for our listeners, our families live in 2 different places.
2 different states.
2 different states in the U.S. So it's like a week. Usually we do 2 weeks. So it's like a week with each. It's like we go back, we're with my family for 1 week. Then we fly, and then we're with Alli's family for 1 week. And then we go home. So it's like 6 days in each place.
And it's like,
it's
very compressed because they know we only have that time with them. So it's like you wake up and you go, 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 go. And then you go to bed. And then you wake up and then you go, 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 go. So,
yeah.
But I think we talked about last time on the podcast, like, what were we excited to eat and all of that. So we ate a lot of good fast food and good delicious food and stuff there.
Yeah, we did definitely eat a lot of what we were hoping to eat, which was a lot of like Mexican food, because our family, or at least my family, lives in, and where we both lived before was in Arizona, so close to Mexico. You get a lot of good Mexican food influence there.
And we bought an entire suitcase to bring shit back. But I will say a good portion of it was my set of Harry Potter books, which I am looking at right now and I'm very happy with. Because the original ones, I waited in line for them. Like, they're the OGs. So, first editions, very happy with that.
All respect to your memory and your loving, nostalgia and everything. But I will say, it really does bother me that 3 of the books are paperback and 4 of the books are hardcover. I don't know. Hardcover. And it really does bother me. I really wish that they were all the same.
No.
So I really wish you had like committed when you were younger to which one you would have preferred to have.
Oh, if only I knew I was going to be married to an anal retentive freak.
I know, you should have known that, honestly. I don't know if that wasn't on your mood board or something, but...
It was not.
Well, I'm sorry, but...
Here we are.
Here we are. But yeah, very excited that we brought those back.
Yeah.
So now if I ever do decide to read these books, which I won't, but if I ever change my mind...
there they are.
Then there they are.
Also, so we bought a suitcase at like Goodwill, and then we filled it with that stuff, a few like things of like memory, like I had like a memory book and then some like pictures and stuff, and then the rest was like Red Vines and Lenny and Larry's protein cookies and Pop-Tarts.
A box of Reese's Puffs that had Goku on it. So I was like,
took up a lot of space.
I gotta buy that. I mean, come on.
Cadbury eggs.
Yeah. Did we finish all the Cadbury eggs? Because we're like way past Easter now. So
I did finish them.
You did finish?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was like, I don't remember the last time I had one of those, but that's probably because you raided the cabinet and ate the rest of them.
But,
yeah. But in that time, we've been away from, back in the States, I was definitely doing some gaming. We were watching some shows and things, reading and whatnot. But we also have been playing some games and things in the meantime.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I think I was talking last time about how I was trying to think what game was I going to play. Because I wanted to know, when you go on a trip, right, it's always nice to think about where you're going to play. Unfortunately, what you can't play when you're gone. And I figured out what it was that I wanted to play. And I bought it while I was there. I picked up Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Okay, there was a Prince of Persia movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes, which I've never seen
that movie either. Okay.
But I've seen the pictures and I'm like, this looks so horrid.
Yeah. Have you ever played a Prince of Persia game? Because they've been around for a long time. Or have you ever seen... Okay, because I
didn't know this was like a universe that
It's like
existed.
a long series. I've never played any of these games. I don't know why. It somehow must have missed me.
Yeah.
Like, I just missed that boat. And then, like, anytime a new one comes out, it's like, well, I don't really have any affinity for this series. But I really like Metroid.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I really like Jake Gyllenhaal. So I play any Jake Gyllenhaal-like game that comes out. Big fan. I will say, though, what I have heard about Prince of Persia game history is that one of the best Prince of Persia games, or at least a very well-liked Prince of Persia game, is the Prince of Persia game that came out, I think, based on the Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Even though people say the movie was shit, they say that game was actually really good. Okay. So that's weird trivia for you.
I didn't ask
that you didn't ask for or want. But I really like Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
Have we talked about what that is? Do you know what a Metroidvania is?
I mean, we have, but I don't know if we have on the...
Okay, so we talked about a roguelike last time, right? Now this is more insider baseball, which for people who don't know what baseball is, that's also a weird phrase. No, but I've said that inside baseball. I've said that here.
Oh, I thought you were saying if people don't know what baseball is. I was like, what do you think we have people listening from another planet?
If you are from Mars, if you're from the Zorklox galaxy, baseball is a game where you hit a ball and you run around bases. Everybody wears really tight pants.
Yeah, they do.
And you eat peanuts. No, I did say if you don't know what baseball is. Anyways, you know what baseball is, but inside baseball is a phrase sometimes people don't know what that means here, I found out. Anyways, behind the scenes, let's say, Metroid games or Castlevania games are games where you essentially explore typically a 2D world, and there's like, oh, you get this way, you can't move anymore. Maybe you need a new power. You unlock that power so you can get through that door.
Right, so but if you've gotten down that way that you can't get, now you have to go back or go a different way, get that power, then go back to that hallway.
Yeah, games are known for their backtracking. So I really like these games.
Barf.
Yeah, I really like these games. Sometimes they can be a bit annoying, but like a lot of times I'm a big fan. And they just released the most recent Metroid game. I think it was maybe last year, maybe even the year before. That was like one of my favorites in a long time. And I had no idea that this new Prince of Persia game would be like, oh, it's actually a really good Metroidvania.
Right.
And I'm into that, so I gave it a shot. I played the whole thing while we were there. I think I beat it on the plane back, and it was really, really good. I was actually very pleasantly surprised as someone who has like no connection with the series at all, because just like the gameplay straight up was just like top notch.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So like in this universe of all Jake Gyllenhaal,
in the Jake Gyllenhaal Multi-verse.
In the universe of like, oh, there's all these games that are related to Prince of Persia. Are they all Metroidvania type games?
No, I think some of them are otherwise like regular, maybe more, let's say, standard like 2D platformers.
So they're all in the same vein.
I think there might even be some 3D ones. I don't know. Now I'm like really like questioning my Prince of Persia knowledge. I honestly don't know. There might be 3D ones as well, like not open world, but like 3D platformers or something. I don't know.
Because for me, so like I have recently just started a new game. I know, crazy. I have not finished my old game, which
shocking.
Was Spiritfarer, which I was talking about I think before. But I've started a new game because Mac did like a demo or something of this game, like saw it and tested it out, and then I was like, that looks really fun. I think I would really like that. And so it's not a 2D platformer, which is it? No, it's not.
I would call this game, which we haven't named what it is, really burying the lead here. It's called it's an isometric camera. Okay. So that's like Hades as well.
Yeah.
Like the camera is just in a fixed point, right? Like you're not controlling the camera at all in the game, right?
Yeah.
So that's like an isometric camera. So it's like
which is always good
from up above-ish.
Yeah. Which is super frustrating sometimes when you get like in the spot and you like can't see yourself. It's like, oh my god, this is so annoying. But anyways, so the game is called Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. Not Cerveza, like a beer. Cereza.
This actually makes it more complicated because my game is called Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Oh. So we're both
losing things.
Playing games where people have lost something.
But so my thing that I was kind of like, now that you're talking about this Prince of Persia stuff, that there's like this whole like universe of games.
Yeah.
It's like my game is also technically related to the Bayonetta games that you play, but mine is like something totally different.
Yeah. I believe it's technically like a prequel.
Right. But it's just like so weird to me.
So different
like
from
complete
like not even close to the same type of game.
No, I know, that's
art
what I'm
style,
saying. It's so crazy.
Tone, anything.
Yeah.
But it is made by the same studio, actually, and the same like general game director as well.
I have never had to say a game before, like a thing without spoiling. So I looked up the description.
Okay.
So that I can tell you like what the game's about, quote unquote, without spoiling something. Because I was like, I don't want to say, because you learn things really early, but I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So here's the first description, which is if you ask Mac to describe it.
Is it like 6 pages long?
No. Here's what it says. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon is a 2023 action-adventure game developed by Platinum Games and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch.
That's true.
A prequel to Bayonetta series, it tells the story of a titular protagonist as a young witch named Cereza. Which I was like,
That's like the Wikipedia top
that's what I'm
sentence.
saying. But like, of course, it tells you who it's made by and like what year and something. Like, that's not what I wanted.
I'm sorry, but knowing the developer of the game is important in back information. It's backstory that's very important.
Here's the one that I think best describes it without giving too much.
If I tell you that a movie, if I'm going to describe to you Django Unchained, should I not say that it is a Quentin Tarantino movie? You know what I mean? Then I kind of know what kind of movie that is. If I say it's a movie by Platinum Games, you kind of get a vibe of it.
You get a vibe.
Now, I also say a game by Platinum Games, and you kind of get a vibe from it.
You get a vibe from it.
I would get a vibe from it.
So, this game tells the tale of Cereza's adventure with the very first demon she ever summoned.
Okay.
What sinister surprises await them in the forest? Cereza uses magic, and Cheshire his demon strength. Alone, both would be lost, but together they can survive anything that the forest throws at them.
Okay.
So basically, you're like traveling through the forest, and Cereza summons a demon, and she has a little, like this kind of crazy sewn together little cat.
A little stuffy.
And it inherits the demon. So now when she like calls the demon, it gets really big and it's her like stuffy. So it has like a button eye and it's like all these different patchwork like sewn together.
That's cute.
It's super cute. Here's the part that I've been really excited to tell you that you would be super proud of me. The left side, you're controlling Cereza. The right side, you're controlling the demon. So when I'm in a fight, I'm controlling both at the same time and fighting and killing people.
So like the stick moves that character.
Yeah, and you have to shoot with the L and the LZ and the R and the RZ.
Okay, so that's why when you're playing next to me, I hear the switch is going.
Well, yeah, because you have to when you
just
attack,
like clicking away.
Yeah, when you attack, you have to attack a bunch of times with the demon. It's like every time you attack, he like swipes. Yeah. So you have to like swipe, and then you have to like hold, and she does magic that like holds them in place.
Okay.
But there's like a, well, I won't tell you too much, but. It's very fun.
What are your impressions? How far are you so far?
I'm 24%, which I would say is very good for me because usually I fall off.
How many hours have you played so far, do you know?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
Okay.
But I would say I probably played like 6.
Okay.
Maybe a little more.
So it's a pretty good size game.
I think so. And yeah, I really like it. The thing that I think I'm finding that I really like is there's like kind of small little puzzles and stuff because so the thing is you can't have Cereza go and Cheshire go too far away from each other.
Okay.
Because they're like linked to each other, so if you go too far it doesn't work. So like sometimes you have to like throw him up on a ledge and then Cereza walk around the other side or whatever because he like can't go near certain herbs and stuff. Or like you have to make him small and then throw him onto a thing which pulls you over or whatever. Like there's all these things that you have to kind of do that's like kind of mini puzzly things.
Okay, so it's like puzzle platformer.
Yeah, and then there's like fairies that you have to defeat that are these like little gremlin-y things. They're very interesting. But it's really good, and I think like what I'm finding is that I really like when there's like a story and a mystery of like what's going on, because you're like following this character, but you haven't met them, you're just like following them. And so I find that I am thinking about it during the day, or like when I want to play, I'm thinking like, oh, I can't wait to know more.
Yeah.
Whereas like with the other one, with Spiritfarer, there are stories behind all the characters, but also I've already played all the stuff I'm playing right now. So I already know a bunch of the stories, so I'm not as curious to keep going, because I'm stuck right now, I think, and I'm just like, I just don't care. I want to get back to where I was, because I was playing it on the Xbox.
Because it was on Game Pass.
Yeah, but then I was like, oh, I should switch over to the Switch, but you can't switch over your data, so now I'm replaying it, and so I think that's why I've really fallen off, because I'm like, I don't care. I want to go back to where I was. Then there's new story, whereas like right now I'm just playing old story, and I'm just like... But yeah, so I'm really liking it, because I'm getting excited and following, like, oh, I wonder what the next thing is. Yeah. So I just got to like a milestone.
Okay. And what do you think of the story? I mean, obviously, we're not going to spoil this game, because I also especially would really like to play it.
We'll spoil it for you guys, but I won't spoil it for
Yeah, exactly. I'll close my ears and I can tell you who dies. But yeah, so what are you thinking of the story so far?
No, like, it's really interesting, because like there's not a lot. It's not like crazy story or plot or anything, but it's just like, oh, I wonder what this is. Like, I wonder what we need to do, or like what the ending is going to be. So you're very curious. You want to keep going.
Cool. And like the gameplay so far,
I would say for me,
how does that, the left and right, like, does it feel?
It's hard,
is it fun?
But it's hard for me, especially because I don't know why, but my brain wants them to be the other way. I want Cheshire to be my left hand and Soraya to be my right.
Okay, weird.
I don't know why.
Just for no reason? Just because?
Yep.
Huh.
Every time I'm moving them in battle, I think I'm moving the other one, and then they're both like jamming into the walls, and the things are like hitting me. But I will say, being somebody who is stupid apparently when it comes to this, you have enough lives, and like you can take enough damage that you're not gonna die immediately. I haven't died.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's meant to be a hard
No,
game,
exactly. And I think I chose like, you can choose like story mode where there's no fighting, regular mode or harder mode or whatever, and I just chose regular, and I'm doing just fine. So it's really a very accessible game if you want to try fighting and stuff. And they also have so many options. They don't have the option to switch the characters, but they have so many options of like, oh, do you want to attach this thing to, if you hold RZ, or do you want to attach it to another button or whatever, and you can like go in and change all the ways that you do all the stuff.
Okay, so like a lot of accessibility stuff you can change around. That's nice.
Yeah, which is really cool. So, because I've just got some new like skills and stuff. So
nice. Is there like pretty good? Yeah. What is the kind of progression like? Are you actually like unlocking new abilities and attacks?
Yeah.
Are you
so
doing
you
like
can
combos.
You can like collect these like stones and stuff. If you like kind of wrestle around, there's like bushes that have flowers on them, and you can like collect things, and then you can make different potions that are like healing or whatever. And then the other thing is you have 2 skill trees. So you collect these little stones when you like win battles or in the bushes, and then you have like a skill tree, so you can like do new attacks or different, or like hold a power longer, like hold her little grippy thing like longer or whatever. So.
And do they feel like the skills like actually kind of advance? Like it makes a difference?
Like yes,
or...
but I just have to remember.
Okay, like you have a new thing you need to remember to use.
Yeah,
now.
but they do prompt you with like a little symbol sometimes. So it's like, oh yeah, I can use that new power. So and there's like a training area that you can train the power in and stuff. Okay. So, or the skill in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited to check it out. I mean, it's super cute as well. Like I love the art style. Like I just played the demo like maybe an hour on the airplane before we decided to buy it, because I was like, I played the demo and I was like, I know I'll like this. Let's check it out. But I've always been a big fan of like Platinum Games games. For the listeners, I've played all 3 of the regular Bayonetta games, and they're super fun. Obviously very different, but like it'd be fun to see the kind of origin. And Cheshire is in Bayonetta 3. like the demon or whatever, and he does look kind of like crazy or whatever.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, he looks really crazy. So it'll be fun to see then the origin story or whatever.
Yeah.
For sure. So I'll definitely need to check that out when you're done. So yeah, maybe we'll have to check in later when you finish it and hear more about it. I think the funny thing, like my Lost game that I was playing, I finished. It's like very much a difference in that yours, it feels like, following for like the story and all of that, like you're wanting to play, hey, like really what's gonna happen next, and like the gameplay's fun, but like especially the story's bringing you back. For me, the Prince of Persia, like it was really good gameplay wise. It like really does get pretty advanced with like skills, and like it's very combat heavy. Some Metroidvanias are more like exploration, more platforming heavy, maybe shooting and like a Metroid. This one's like very much like sword combos combat.
But I will say also watching you play, like where you have to like drop and then hit the wall at the exact certain spot, I could never.
There's there's also some fucked up platforming stuff too. Like I do like a game that's like gets that. It's usually, though, I will say, like it does a good job of, one, the checkpoints are great. Two, it does a good job of like those really difficult platforming things. Those are usually to get a collectible. Not usually like to get to the next part of the mission or the main path.
Okay.
You don't usually need to do any of the bullshit. Yeah. But like some of these ones where I'd be like jumping and then jump over, dash, teleport backwards, then bounce off this wall, drop, teleport, throw my thing, teleport to it, whatever crazy shit you started to be able to do. That was like so I can get some collectible item.
Oh, okay.
Same thing, like Metroidvania had that. A lot of these like really good difficult platformers, usually it's like you want to get more, then you need to like get really extreme. That was like when I was playing Celeste. Yeah. That's like the hardest platformer I've ever played in my life, but that game was incredible. Like I did everything in that game, even though it was like I couldn't even believe that I was capable of doing that. Yeah. But it was mostly because like you unlock more challenges that are like on top of it. Right. But this one, it was pretty much all gameplay. It was like classic like gameplay is king kind of game, where it was like the story was like, I will spoil this one a bit if you're interested in playing this, listener. But it's not, I mean, to be honest, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just like, okay, you're going to chase down the Prince of Persia. You actually are not the Prince of Persia. I think most games in the past, you're playing as the prince. This is like, you're going to chase him down. He gets taken by somebody. Then basically, like shortly said, there's just like some betrayal where the person you thought was taking them actually, you thought they were a bad guy. That was your old mentor. Turns out they were actually a good person, and your leader now is actually kind of the bad guy, and then he ends up being like the villain that you're going after. So it's like, that's like literally it. And then it's like, you kind of go across, you bump into him a couple times, then it's like you get powers over the course of the game, and then you have like a big superhero fight basically at the end between the two of you. But it was like, it was kind of like cheesy whatever, but it was really fun gameplay, and like it had a lot of style, where it was like the little cutscenes and things that would play were like super stylish. It was like a really good art style, really creative. A lot of the powers are like weird teleporting shit. You could like create a version of yourself, run over here, then teleport back to that. So you'd have to do that in battles or in platforming. Like it really did start to get interesting. Yeah. Like I usually do 100% these games as well, but I haven't done that yet. And I don't know if I will, but I'm debating if I'll go back to it. But now, I did enjoy it, so I'm thinking about it. But now I just got, I got other shit that I've been up to.
Also, one thing you'd be very proud of me for, along with my double playing, which is just very advanced.
I mean, it is impressive, to be honest.
Is that now when you're following, there's like a path you're supposed to go on. You like follow these certain footprints. And then if I see a different path, I go down it and I search for the other stuff, and I get like little chests.
Impressive. Stuff, so. Because usually when we're playing a game, for our listeners here,
it's always time bound when they're like, follow me.
But that never matters.
I know, but I'm like, they're waiting for us.
They'll continue to wait. I always have to go and check what's down the non-critical path. If they want me to go forward, but there's a path to the right, well, I gotta go find out what's down there. There's probably a chest.
I know, but I'm always like, oh my god.
The character's like, hurry, if we don't go now, my son will get murdered.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but I think I see a chest over there.
Let me go rummage through this chest.
I gotta go explore for some old bandages I can craft into something.
Yeah. I'm like, her son's dying.
Yeah, he'll survive. I guarantee it. Okay. Yeah. I've been spending honestly like a lot of time doing that pretty much in Final Fantasy VII now as I continue to work through this game, and it's like I love this game, but I'm ready for it to end. Not necessarily because I'm ready for it to be done playing it, but I'm ready for it to like
wrap up,
get on with itself. You know what I mean? I think it has.
You're feeling it being drawn on a bit too long.
Yeah, and it's almost like because of a positive thing in the negative thing, where it's like, okay, this is a second game in a. As I mentioned last time, it's one game that expanded into 3 games. This is the middle part. So I feel like the middle part already probably is going to be weird.
Yeah.
It's not opening up the story where the first one was so interesting, and it's not going to give you the resolution and close it either.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of running around in the middle. And like I do have to apologize to this game a little bit, where last time I was like, yeah, this game basically nothing happens, there's no plot.
Yeah.
You're just hanging out on the beach in bikinis and doing a bunch of kooky fun mini games, which hey, that was a lot of fun. But actually now that I've gotten to chapter 9, now it's like shit is going down, where it's like crazy stuff starts happening, a lot of really
13,
it's like a lot of really interesting stuff. So potential spoilers for chapters 9 and on if you're playing this game and haven't played this far. But it's like now all the stuff with Red 13, where you find out a character's backstory of one of your party members who's like had this deep voice all this time, and now he has like this super. You get to his hometown and find out that he basically has been like putting on airs this whole time. He's actually this like young little like animal character that's like
he's 45.
Yeah, but like in his year he's like, oh, but that's like the age of a 16-year-old or whatever. So it's you learn about him, then you start to learn more about another one of your companions, and then there's all the crazy shit that starts happening with Sephiroth, and then Cloud starts to get his memories back more. So I just recently found out that like at the beginning of the game you were playing through a flashback, and I've now learned that part of that flashback was not real. It was like not a real memory. And like Zack, who's this other character I keep seeing who looks like Cloud, is also a soldier but with black hair. I've played as him a couple random times in the game, like in these little interstitial moments, and it turns out he was actually there in Nibelheim at the beginning of the game that I played, but I didn't know that. So it's like, and I've been wondering what happened to him. So now it's like they're starting to finally give you more things happening. And then I just met this other character, and it's like it's really starting to get really good.
And then it's gonna end.
But then and I guess it's gonna end because I'm on chapter 11, and I think I don't know how many more there are left. But it's like I'm finally getting somewhere now.
Yeah.
But then it's also at the same time, this game spends so much time doing like side quest things, open world things that really vary in quality, where it's like the little side quests, like where I was just running to go save this cat with Tifa. It's a stupid little side quest, but I like these because they always have these little character moments where it's like, oh, it's Cloud and Tifa, they're back in Nibelheim again, they're talking about how they grew up there. They have this like kind of, love for each other that they don't really talk about, but they both know kind of from the past that they've known each other their whole lives. And they're just kind of like chatting, and then about how she used to play piano. They
find the cat, and then it has kittens.
Yeah, it's like...
And they're all jamming along while she's playing the piano. They're all like bobbing their heads and like jamming out. It was so cute.
So you get all these amazing moments where they're talking about how they used to be there, and then the town burned down. She's like, oh, I wonder, how my old cat's doing. I feel so bad I never went back for her to see if she was okay. And then they find the cat, and then she's a family, and blah, blah. And then they have this little, like you mentioned, they have this little moment where Tifa's like, oh, I haven't played piano in so long, but then she plays anyways, and it's so cute, right? And then the little cat's like dancing as you're playing this piano mini game. So there's moments like that are so good, but then there's like so much open world kind of bloat where it's like, it's also my own fault because I'm going through all of it because I want to play all of it. So I'm like, I could just move on to the next part of the story, but I'm like, well, I want to go do all the side stuff here.
Yeah, and you want to see all of the different types of chocobo.
Yes, I want to do all the little things. I want to do the little combat stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
But it does feel like then sometimes it's like you spend so much time just running around doing nothing, where it's almost like the big story things, they've only just now started happening in the last couple chapters. But I'm looking forward to like continuing it. So I'm in, I think, chapter 11. I think chapter 12. The only things I knew about this game chapter-wise was that 8 and 12 are where the 2 dates happen, because you have to make, like, you know, get relationships, like you have a relationship with your partners. And I was just like, anytime I have to play a game where it's like, oh, there's different relationship things and this and that, I'm just always like curious, like, how much should I pay attention to this, or like if there's some way I need to metagame it to min-max a certain way.
Really super into the relationships in games. He's
yes,
like,
I am.
Really into them.
Don't nod like it's a weird thing.
I'm not nodding. Like, no, I'm saying like he's really into that, not in like a weird way. He's just like very like committed to he like really stands people.
Yeah, there's something, I don't know why, I feel like I had this as a realization like recently in life. I think actually when you were maybe because I was like I was so lonely or whatever and sad.
Oh my god.
When you were in London for 6 weeks, I was like watching a bunch of anime at the time, and I was just like checking out some random shit. I watched one that was like a rom-com, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I watched like, I swear, like 3 more like rom-com animes. And I was like, you know what? Actually, I think I am just like a romantic, like shipper kind of like. But you know, shippers can also be weird freaks.
Wow.
But I'm just like into that, like, because I have Mass Effect, Dragon Age.
The show we watched.
What other games?
The show that we watched with the mech or the
anime or live action?
Anime. It was like where they got like sick from all the stuff.
Oh my god, Cyberpunk.
Yes, Cyberpunk.
That show made me want to die.
But like at the end, I'm like, no spoilers. But at the end, I was just like, oh man, and Mac was like practically like crying.
I listened to that song.
Oh yeah.
I really want to stay at your house.
Yeah.
Such a good song. I listened to that song so many times after that show just to like feel something.
I feel like Mac would be
I watched that and I was like,
if we were teenagers, Mac would be listening to that like crying in the mirror just to like make himself cry.
I probably would. So I guess I'm a freak, but
no,
that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm self-aware.
Freak. It's just like you're just very
7 days a week.
Yeah. You're just very like
I'm invested.
Like to ship people.
I'm
you're very
in these
invested.
Things.
Yeah.
So this is a game where you have relationships like with your team members, like your bros, your hoes, you know, anyone that's in your party other than the cat.
Your cats.
You don't actually.
Your dogs.
There's actually no relationship meter with the cat, which is sad. I don't know why he doesn't.
Because he's a robot.
He is a robot. The cute thing though is that all of them have a little like smiley face.
Yeah.
That like changes color depending on your level, and his is like a little cat face. It doesn't change color, but it's just a cute little cat face.
That's awesome.
But it is a game that has a metric that frustrates me a little bit in that you don't choose.
Yeah, it's whoever
There's
has
certain
the highest.
things in the game where it's like, hey, you'll get a certain moment in the game where you'll go like spend this chapter with this person. You can like have some time to talk to them, play some game, whatever, and have like a nice character moment. And I'm like, well, I really like Cloud and Tifa. I think that's just like, it makes sense. I like their relationship. It's fun. It also feels like the canonical thing that makes the most sense anyways, because also this other person, Zach and Aerith, like we're in love, not secretly, but we're in love in the past, and he's disappeared somehow. Maybe we don't know what happened to him.
Weird if, like,
so it kind of also feels like they clearly have that unfinished thing to where it's like, it doesn't really make sense for her and Aerith in my opinion, or for her and Cloud in my opinion. But the game chooses it for you, so I'm having to be very careful about like which bar do I have that I know is the highest for which character, and so I'm being careful about like when I do a side quest for this character, it's raising their level, and I don't want to suddenly overlap this character over that one, and then I show up and it's like me and Red 13 hanging out, going on a date or something, which is like, you know, I like Red 13, but I'm not like trying to take him on the Ferris wheel and have a, you know, nice firework evening or something. So so that's where I'm at right now, but still enjoying it.
Good.
I'm just hoping, I want to see how it ends at this point, because I feel like I won't spoil it, but I know there's a very iconic thing that happens in Final Fantasy VII that of course I know happens with a certain character, because it was been 20-something years since that game came out. Is it
kind of like, oh, he sees dead people or whatever? Like everybody kind of knows at some point.
Exactly. There's a thing I know is going to happen at some point, unless they decide to change it because they've changed other things, or they're doing weird multiverse kind of stuff, I think, at this point now, different timelines. So I'm just curious, like, where is this game going to end? Yeah. Is something going to happen with that? Is something not, or what? I'm just like super curious, but I think I'm getting there, so I'm looking forward. And
when does the third one come out?
probably, I mean, I think between these two was 4 years. I think it came out in 2020. So it's probably going to be another fucking 4 years. So 2028, I'll finally have plot, resolution on this story, which is brutal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a long time. But yeah, I'm still sticking with it.
Yeah. I'll probably have just finished my scarf by then.
I doubt it, honestly. Yeah, maybe.
I told my mom by the time I'm 35, I'll have a nice scarf.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I just started knitting when we were in the U.S. My mom taught me how, and oh my god, it takes so long. Well, she like talked me into making the scarf thick or like wide.
How wide? Oh, so you have to do longer,
so now it's
right?
like, oh my god. So now in between each row is like so many stitches before I get to start a new row.
Yeah.
So it's like I definitely should have started with something thinner.
Yeah. But how do you know how long? Like, how long will the scarf be when you finish it? Do you know?
I don't know, because I'm looking at the ball of yarn and I feel like it's not long enough. But I don't know.
I mean, I feel like this ball of yarn, this is great listener content, this ball of yarn that we can see right here, I feel like how much you've made out of it, I don't feel like the size of the ball has changed much.
Okay.
At least so far. I feel like it looks the same as when you started.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I'm very excited to see when it's done.
Yeah.
In 20...
Tune in 2028. When Mac's playing his new game.
I'll play Final Fantasy VII Religion Reunion. No, they already used that one for a different game. Regeneration. Remix. Revengeance.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. It's got to be something with a re.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping I can maybe finish this game somewhat soonish because there is a new game coming out that I am curious about that I played the demo for, and that's Stellar Blade.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a game I wanted to bring this up because I'm curious to talk about this because I'm curious your thoughts because this game is in a very weird place. So we talked about Bayonetta.
Yeah.
I thought this was like a Bayonetta-like. I also really liked Nier Automata, which is another game that's also by Platinum Games. Very like action, fast combos, a lot of whatever. Mm-hmm. They're also both made by the same game designer or game director, Yoko Taro, who's a guy who wears this big crazy. You have to look him up at some point. He wears this big crazy I've
seen him
circle mask thing.
Yeah.
He's never seen his face, or nobody ever has seen his face, at least publicly in the public eye. And he's like this kind of. To be honest, kind of like degenerate guy. He's like very talented, very like insightful in his games, but he's kind of like a deviant for sure. Like his characters are all like hot. I think even at some point he like literally said like, hey, he made Bayonetta because it's like the type of woman that he's into or like that he really likes. That being said, Bayonetta is also a very cool character with like a lot of personal agency in her like kind of hotness. Like it's kind of like part of her vibe.
And her very low cut.
Yeah, but it's like
tight outfits.
But it's like her thing. Like that's like she's like honestly it's kind of like, to be honest, she's kind of like a dominatrix-esque type person. But like she's the powerful person who's kind of like making everybody else like kind of weak and
submit.
Basically, honestly. But now there's this new game called Stellar Blade and I was like, okay, this looks interesting because it's like looks like fast, flashy combat. It's made by like a Korean studio. A lot of times, honestly, there's not a lot of big games coming out of Korea. They tend to do a lot of like more mobile games, which is interesting. But it's gotten a whole bunch of press all the time at all these like Sony conferences because it's a PlayStation exclusive. But it does have a character who's like hot. And now I played the demo and I really enjoyed it. And yes, the character, okay, cool. Yeah, sure, the character's hot. But it's like I played the demo. It's really good. It's really fun. The music is super good. Story seems like it could be interesting. The combat's really cool. It's like less like Bayonetta, really fast. It's a little bit slower, almost like the game I was playing Sekiro back in the day, where it's like more parry focused, a little bit more methodical. You're not just like going crazy, jumping in the air and flying around. It's more like, okay, I'm standing here. They're gonna attack me. I'm gonna parry. Then I'm gonna go in. Maybe I'll do one dodge. Then I'll go in, whatever. But it's like become this controversy around this game that's like now made me so annoyed that I'm just like, I just kind of want to enjoy this game like in a non-perverted way. But it's like this game has become like the banner, like the flag to go to war for like perverts or like the anti-woke agenda people. So it's like, it's super weird. So it's like this game has now become this like talking point around how some game developers, particularly game developers like in the East, are not afraid to make games where women are like hot and like protagonists in the world can be like good looking compared to other games where they like make everybody ugly on purpose somehow, which also is not a real thing. But it's...
Wait, they're saying other games people are all ugly?
Yes, so they're saying like, oh yeah, in all these games, or like, you know, a lot of... It's always...
It's like actors and actresses are the ones who are face capturing. They're like, we're all ugly in this game?
These are the types of people who will tell you that like, oh yeah, Margot Robbie, she's actually ugly. It's like, these are these types of people. Like, they're freaks. They're weird, like, internet
so
freaks.
this is like weird people saying
They're weird people. But it's like creating this weird bubble around this game where it's like everybody's like, I can't wait for this game to come out and it's probably gonna be masterpiece, game of the year because look at her butt when she runs. It's like, oh yeah. And it's like, can we just like, this game just looks like it's fun. Like, can we just like play the game and then if it's good and we can just say this is a good game instead of like, yes, this was the game that finally took down all those woke people who think that we need to make characters ugly. For some reason.
And by ugly, what they mean is normal-looking women with normal-sized boobs and butts and waistlines.
Just like normal people, you know?
That's what I mean, though.
Yeah, exactly. And
also, let's be honest, it's not normal people, it's women.
But these are the same like types of people you'll see on Twitter where they're like, oh, I fixed this game character. And then it like puts them through like a yassified like AI where they're like all of a sudden
huge
like...
ass and like giant tits.
Yeah, and it's like in The Last of Us, I'm like, I'm sorry, do you think they have like cosmetic surgery and like, you know, putting on perfect makeup when they're stepping out to go fight zombies? I don't know. No, it's just like probably Ellie, but from like, or Abby, who you'll learn about in...
No, I know.
Yeah, but like Abby maybe from like the game. They're like,
Aren't they like teenagers?
No, they're adults. But like, that's a perfect example. They're like, oh, Abby, she's like muscular and like looks like kind of like a man. I'm like, she looks like a woman who is muscular.
Yeah.
She lives in a post-apocalyptic world. Yeah. What is she like? What's wrong with doing exercise and becoming muscular? Yeah. It doesn't make it... It's crazy. So this is
because then they look like a man and that makes you gay.
Exactly. Because if you get horny from looking at this character, but they look kind of too much like a man, then I guess you're gay now. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Them's the rules, I guess, apparently.
According to them.
According to themselves.
Not according to us. Don't cancel us.
No. So that's like the... So I'm very conflicted. Yeah. Apparently reviews for this game come out next week.
Whose review?
Yeah, I don't know. Perverts reviews.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Yeah. Her booty jiggles when you run.
Boom.
Best game of all time. I bought a PS5 just for that because I don't have access to the internet.
The HD Google graphic. Yeah, right.
Google booty, and it's like I don't understand. So I'm hoping. My one hope for this game is that it comes like the reviews come out next week, and it's like, hey, this game is good. On its own merits, whatever, and then they can just be like we can all just shut up and move on.
I mean, people will still.
They'll still be those people, but then at least we can like ignore it and just say, oh yeah, that's actually a good game though.
Right, for being a good game.
Yeah, if it comes out and it's bad, and it gets like a 5 review, 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10, then everybody's gonna go insane because then they're gonna say like, oh yeah, they don't get it, blah blah blah. Yeah. It's like gonna like set fire to like the whole conspiracy nonsense. So we will see. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited and also not, to be honest. Yeah. It's like I don't want to be looped in with these weirdos, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. We also speaking of Last of Us.
Well,
kind of. That's a TV show adaptation. Did you like my transition there?
It was very smooth.
Yeah, thank you. We've been watching another TV show adaptation, which is Fallout, which just came out maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't know, but
2 weeks ago because it took us way too long to watch that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, surprisingly, especially in today's like TV show environment, it dropped all the episodes, all 8 episodes at the same time.
Yeah.
But this is Fallout made by Amazon Prime, made by Amazon, and Jonathan Nolan, who did Westworld.
Yeah.
Which is a nice connection, because that's also a very good show.
Fallout is a video game by
Bethesda Game Studios.
Yeah.
So they're owned by Microsoft now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there have been quite a fair few of Fallout games. I think I've only played Fallout 4, actually, and a little bit of Fallout 76, which I didn't like that much. That's like an online version. But there's quite a fair bit. Very popular. James actually used to be really into Fallout. He used to play Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas quite a lot. So that's where I first got into it, was when he was playing. But I really liked them. I like what I've played so far of Fallout in the past. And
but I think something really cool about the show is it's a unique story. It's like referencing things that happen in the game and stuff, but it's not like shot for shot or like trying to follow some sort of storyline. It's just like in the same universe as the games, which I kind of like, because then you're not like, oh, I know what's gonna happen, or like somebody dies and you're like, yeah, I do that. It's like, oh fuck, like.
Yeah.
So like with The Witcher, or like with The Witcher or Last of Us, also with The Witcher, you going like, none of this shit happened in the book or the game. So it's kind of nice to just be like, oh, it's in a universe that you like. And so far, I think the cast and everybody, it's been a really great story, but it's not something that you already know what's going to happen before I know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's a unique story, like it's not directly from an actual game, but it's just like inspired. It's got different groups from the game, so there's different parts of the factions or whatever that you would usually have in the game that you might join or fight or whatever. Like a lot of them are present, which was quite nice. But I don't know, I thought it could be nice to kind of maybe get into it a little bit and chat about it. So we were going to do a bit of a spoiler cast here on Fallout. So if you have watched it, stick around. If you haven't, then maybe skip this part, or maybe skip to the end a bit. But definitely recommend giving it a watch.
Absolutely.
Before we spoil anything, it was I don't know, I really liked it.
It was a great show and like good storyline and stuff. I will say it's a teensy bit like gory, but not like, I would say it's not needlessly gory. Like it's not like a bunch of fight scenes and stuff. There's just times when like a body part gets blown off and then they like show where it got blown off and you're just like, oh my god, like that's really gory looking, but it's not like guts and stuff everywhere or anything. It's not like a hacker or what's that? Slasher film or something.
It's not The Boys.
No, no.
Also
on a scale
Amazon.
of 1 to The Boys.
Yeah.
No, but it is. I will say like there is some gore, but it's really not that bad. Yeah. But if you're not gonna stick around, we'll talk to you later. Otherwise, let's get into it.
Thank you for joining the spoilercast portion of this podcast.
Brought to you by
our own apartment and money. We don't have any advertisers. But if you'd like to advertise on our podcast, I think we had 17 listens last time. So there's money to be made. There's money on the table. Give us a call. But yeah, really like this show. Honestly, I don't know how you felt after the first episode, but I was like, okay, like I think it caught me a little bit. Maybe it took a little while, I feel like, to kind of really get going. But I will say, like, that first episode I did think was like a good enough like teaser to kind of like get the vibes going. Like for me as someone, especially, we're coming at this from two different angles as well, like me having played it, you having not. For me as someone who has played Fallout, I do feel like I got enough, like throughout the whole show, but even just getting started, I feel like I got enough of a kind of like teases of things I know about or that I like, but not, again, because it's its own unique story. Like I didn't know already, like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen, blah blah blah, boring. It was like, ooh, interesting.
Like, oh, they chose this storyline.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's interesting. And starting the story with being actually like before the bombs drop, I thought was really cool.
I also think that it was really interesting, and like I thought that I got definitely like right away. I was very interested because I wasn't picking up on small things. Yeah. I was just like the whole time like, what's going on? What?
Yeah.
What? So I felt like that was really cool, and I also really like in these stories because similar to you know, a lot of these other shows, they have like the one person who's going to be in it that's Walton Goggins.
Excellent in this show.
So good. Good in everything. But you have him, but then it's like all other, I mean, not everybody, some of them I know from other things, but like the other two kind of main characters are like people I've never really seen in other stuff. I feel like I've seen the guy in something else, Titus, but...
Yeah.
I mean, not Titus, but Titus.
Well, Titus we've seen definitely in other stuff as well.
Maximus. But... her, I've never seen her anywhere. So it's very cool when they do that where it's like two leading people that you don't know. And so I kind of like that too. So, no, right away I was hooked during the first episode. Also, I'll watch anything. So
yeah,
that's not any like big praise that I was interested.
So high.
No, but I thought it was really good. And I thought the way that they kind of explained without explaining, you know, without like outright being like, this is a Pip-Boy, this is how you use it. It's like they just say like, oh, Pip-Boy, and then it's just like, okay, now you know that that's what that's called, kind of thing. So I thought that was really cool and very explanatory without being outrightly like.
I think I agree. I think like kind of starting out just a little bit like already into things, like okay, you get a little bit of time before the bombs drop, then you saw that with like Walton Goggins from the past, which I thought was then okay, interesting to see, you know, how is he there in the past, and then how is he there in the present. Like I obviously knew, you know, from the show or from the games, like he's a ghoul, so they're kind of mutant or whatever from the, you know, nuclear waste.
Fucking what's his name?
Exactly. But I think like once they started getting into the vault stuff, then I thought it was super interesting because they did go pretty quick then through that. Where like they're in the vault, and what was it like by the end of the episode? Like they were having the wedding, and it was like, oh, shit is not going well. Shit is not right. These are raiders. A bunch of people get killed. Like it actually then like by the end of that first episode,
and the dad's gone.
Oh my god, yeah. By the end of that first episode, it was like boom, crazy.
Everybody's dead, and the dad's gone.
Yeah, so that was really. Like it turned it around right there, pretty crazy. I feel like it was. I feel like the show had a very good, like all the way throughout, like such a good level of humor. Like something that Fallout does so well is like the world is super unique in that, you know, when we were watching, you were like, I'm sorry, you're like, wait, what's going on here? Because it's like 1950s aesthetic, but it's like set in 2000 something in the future. And it's like fancy technology, like some flying cars and like robots, but it's like old school looking.
Yeah, it's that thing that you like that's like retro futuristic. Yeah. So like all the robots are like super really smart AI, but then they're like all like janky looking and like super cobbled together.
Yeah, and they're driving like old school like American cars.
Or like the TVs are like those kind of bubbly like Jetsons TVs.
Yeah, exactly. So they do such like that is like such a unique Fallout thing, which they did such a good job adapting. And then the other thing about Fallout that I feel like that does so well is that it's like a really grim world. It's like, you know, fucked up, pretty dark stories sometimes, but it has like such a comedy about it where it's like so funny. Yeah. And I think that they did such a good job of adapting that into the show where there was a lot of comedy and that it just, even when it would be like, oh yeah, this part is kind of like fucked up or a bunch of people are dying or whatever, they'd like find some way to kind of make it funny or do something stupid or whatever that I thought was honestly really good. Like same thing with when they're all being attacked, there's like a bunch of, you know, in the first vault or in the vault in the beginning, there's a bunch of like kind of silly stuff going on, or like the, you know, the scene where the pregnant woman's like
how
shooting
they're killing
and like
them
has
is
a
like
fork
funny.
stabbing in her eye. It's like ridiculous.
How they're killing them or how the bad stuff is going down is like kind of humorous also.
Something I thought was interesting, and I'm curious what your thoughts were on all of the Brotherhood of Steel stuff, because I thought that was a really cool, like for me, something that was kind of more in depth than in the game, Because in the games, like in Fallout 4, I think probably the ones previously, usually you can like join different factions. And it's kind of like, you know, Skyrim, Fallout, the new one, Starfield, a lot of the games they make in that style, like there's always different factions, different groups, and you can always kind of like join them, and then maybe at some point they might go into conflict, where it's like, okay, now you need to choose one of them,
side or whatever.
Choose a side or something. That happens a lot. And you could join the Brotherhood of Steel, but it didn't really have like this angle where in the show it's like a, you know, kind of like culty. And I thought, I don't know, I thought all the Brotherhood of Steel stuff was really weird, but really cool.
I mean, it's definitely like super fucked up and like. Yeah. I was saying to Mac, like when we were watching it, I was like, why is there always a religious like creepy element whenever these kind of like end of world things happen? Like, why does everyone just go back to like, oh, better be a bunch of old men in robes? Back to this again. Last podcast we were talking about old men in robes.
Yes, exactly.
But like, why is it that always they're like, oh, we should go back to old men in robes who are in charge and running everything? I'm like, why?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
why?
It must be people trying to, you know, like it's about, I guess, the power or something, right? And trying to like.
But like, isn't that who got us probably into trouble in the first place? Was a bunch of old men, not in robes necessarily. In
like, you know, Supreme Court robes. I'm pointing at each other for our podcast listeners. Sorry. Doesn't really work. Point. But yeah, Draw. It was super interesting though. Yeah. I thought like that was a weird angle, but I really liked it. Yeah. I think in the games it's kind of just like, oh yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel is sick, like
right,
that's so
but then
dope.
They make it like
power armor.
Yeah, but and then they make it like ooh. And then it turns out they're like telling them that they shouldn't like jerk off or have sex because the guy goes,
yeah, she's like,
oh yeah, she's like, you want to have sex?
He's like, oh, but then he's like, what, with like my cock? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but then he's like, I don't think we're supposed to do that. He's like, then it gets all hard like a pimple and it'll pop.
Yeah, and I was like, ew.
It's like, ew, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like clearly they're not giving them like sex education there. They're just like, don't do that shit.
It's also a bunch of men.
They're all, I was like, also they're probably all freaking torqued up because they're all like, let's fight, because they all have never had any release in their lives.
Yeah, it was really funny. She's like, it's supposed to do that actually.
So gross.
Oh my god, this show is so weird. It like
really they make me so uncomfortable when they talk to each other.
Yeah, it's because like the two
they have like no social skills.
Yeah, the two of the three main characters are like, she's from a vault.
Wait, aren't these people who have watched it now?
Yeah, you're right. If you stuck with us, you already know this. Anyways, the fact that they are two characters who have basically like they're both from such weird like backgrounds,
upbringings,
like, they both were raised in environments where they have like no external communication.
Right, because also she was like, her cousin's like in love with her.
Yes.
And then she was like, wait, I love you, when she's trying to leave the vault, and then she's like, oh, it's nice to do cousin stuff when you're a kid, but I think we need to move on, like, sexually or whatever. I was like...
She's like, that's not really very sustainable for a long-term sexual relationship. It's
I was like, so why? It's so bad. Yeah.
Oh my god, and the end with the brother.
Lord.
So I thought that whole side plot with the brother, like...
Also, shout out to Moises whatever the fuck from Hannah Montana.
Shout out to the guy from Hannah Montana, Moises...
He didn't.
I want to say Moises Purdue, but I know that's not his name.
We'll call him that.
Moises Purdue from Hannah Montana. He did a great job in this.
He did not grow into that nose, though.
No, he did not grow into his nose, but he looks respectable now, I think.
Yeah. I think he's like 30.
Probably. I don't think he was supposed to be young, though.
She's not. She's older.
Yeah, but...
in the show. And I would peg her at like 25, maybe.
We'll have to Google it after the show.
Anyways.
But I thought... I have a question for you.
His whole plot was awesome.
I have a question for you. Going into the show, as we were getting into, I don't know, maybe midway or something, did you have suspicions about the nature of the vaults?
Yes.
You did from the beginning? Or when did you start to have suspicions about the nature of a vault?
I started to have suspicions pretty much right when the Raiders like right after the Raider shit happened, I was like, because they're like, oh, the door opened from the inside or whatever, and I was like, something's wrong. Also, because like I feel like now I'm just trained in like every show, or like now all the time when I watch stuff, I've watched so many shows that now I'm just like, it's not all gonna be biscuits and gravy, and like they're just like, oh, we all live in vaults and it's all fine. But I didn't know the extent of like that they're using them all for experiments or whatever. Yeah. But like immediately I was like, no, something's wrong. Yeah. Also, I knew something was wrong with that blonde girl from the mom from the beginning, because she was always like so happy about everything, and I was like, why are you like that?
She's kind of weird. Yeah, that's something I think that's interesting from the games, is that like the nature of vault tech and the vaults, like they're all very different. Obviously, like they kind of got into later on with Walton Goggins.
Also,
Cooper's
the fact
wife.
that he's the
the fact that Cooper was the Pit Boy, that was really cool.
Crazy.
Or Vault Boy.
Like,
that was really cool. I didn't expect that kind of like, oh wow, that, he was the guy originally,
around.
and then they covered him up with
like,
the little character.
Yeah, because they like made him blonde and stuff. So I feel like but that was very cool.
Yeah, but the fact that like all the vaults, not all of them, but a lot of them have like some weird experiment. Yeah, like they're testing something. Right. But I think the way that we like that side plot. Yeah. To get there in Vault 33 and like 30, the triangle one. Oh my God. That was super cool. It's like just a
brain and literally the name. I paused it to hear to see who the voice was, because on Amazon, if you pause it, it gives you like the little bubbles, kind of like with TiVo or whatever back in the day. And literally,
TiVo. God, wow, dated reference.
Literally, the name of the brain in Vault 31 is literally called Brain on a Roomba.
That's amazing.
And I was like, and best thing to put on your CV
He was the brain of Bud, right? Because it was like,
I believe
Buds.
Yeah, he's like, my buds. Yeah.
That was super interesting. I thought like
called Brain on a Roomba. He wasn't even called Bud though. No. So I don't think he was Bud.
But I guess I have to see who the voice was, if it was still his voice.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Oh, it wasn't? Yeah. Okay. But like that whole plot with how they got there, I thought was super interesting. So like as they were slowly, like it was just like over the course of the whole season, there was just this whole side little thing of them slowly like, they went into the vault and saw that it was all fucked up. Yeah. Which we still didn't really find out why that happened, right? We never found out what happened in Vault 32.
No, we didn't explicitly find out, but...
They just cleaned it up, and then it was like, okay.
Yeah, because it was all messed up, and then they were like, the last bio read on one of the Pip-Boys was from 2 years before. Yeah. And so then we were like, oh shit, like maybe we're going to find out about this, and then it's like, nope, they cleaned it all up, then they moved a bunch of people into 32, and then he went into 31.
Yeah, but we never found out why they all like killed each other and themselves in Vault 32. No. Like, that was brutal. Yeah. But the thing in 31 is super interesting, and then it ended. We didn't even see if he actually went into the pod, right? We didn't see. So now we just, I guess, we'll have to wait till next season. Which, like I said, I was saying yesterday. Thankfully, this got renewed for a second season. Yeah. I don't know how long that'll take, but that's good news. Definitely deserves one.
When I saw Fred Armisen in the episode, I was like, oh yeah, and then he was only in it for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was a fun cameo though.
No, I know, but he was just like. I was hoping he would be like somehow get brought into their crazy gang or something, because I was like, damn it. No. But yeah.
I think the stuff with the some of the most like surprise, honestly, was with all of the plot with the mom and the dad, because that I definitely did not have any expectation. Like, the whole time she was looking for her dad. Yeah. But then, obviously as they were going through the side plot, that like, oh yeah. All of the vault, what was it, representatives or
or whatever,
overseers? Yeah. All the overseers were always from Vault 31.
Always from 31, yeah. Like, okay. What is it when something goes wrong? Vote 31.
Yeah, something. Yeah, it's something rhymes, I guess, right? Yeah. But the fact that the dad was from there, I was like, oh, okay, maybe there is something weird there. Maybe there's something suspicious, but we didn't really learn about it. But the fact then getting to the end that like actually he's kind of a fucked up guy, killed her mom basically by nuking Sandy Shores, Sandy Shades, I think Sandy Shades, and that like it seemed like her mom and the leader of the Enclave
they were totally together.
Were definitely like together in like a secret love. Moldova, or something.
Not Moldova.
No, that's a country. Merdova, something like that. But the fact that they were together.
Yeah.
Secret love affair.
Oh, for sure. No,
for sure.
I don't know if it was secret.
Well, I mean, I guess.
Meldover,
maybe. Red Rover, send Meldover over. But that was honestly a big surprise. But I thought like they played that out pretty well at the end. And then now it seemed like the dad took the power armor.
Yeah.
And then left with it. So I guess wherever he's going, I guess we'll have to find out. Did you...
I tried to look up Meldover Fallout. I don't think that's her name. Because one of the questions is, what happened to Bobbi No-Nose? And I'm just... what does that mean?
I don't know who Bobbi No-Nose is. Maybe that's from the game I haven't played.
Funny.
What did you... At the end?
Yeah.
When we got like the little kind of teaser frame about the dad. And he was in the power armor suit, and he was walking, and he was walking towards the city.
Moldaver.
Oh
my God.
Close
Anyways.
Enough.
Also, I looked up Moldover Fallout, and they couldn't give me that. They talk about Bobbi No-Nose. Come on. Jesus Christ.
He's going to be in the next season.
He's a crucial character.
Yeah, very important.
It's actually the ghoul's real
He's very important to
Bobbi
the overall arching themes.
Anyways, sorry.
When he was walking in the power suit at the end, where was he going? It looked like the Space Needle, like Seattle.
Yeah. Oh, it could be.
But you think he was just walking all the way to Seattle? I mean, it could have been. They were in California. Yeah. I don't know where they were in California. They were in Hollywood.
Is that up at the top?
No.
Oh, then I don't know. Or was it supposed to be that far away? I don't know.
I mean, Seattle's pretty fucking far.
I'm saying, like, was it supposed to have been far away? But then I was like, no, because you could, like, see the thing right there.
It looked like the Space Needle.
Maybe he fucking walked that far. I don't know.
But I'm curious then where we go from here.
Yeah.
Because it ended on a pretty interesting note. Like, they were all together. They kind of seemed like they'd solved everything.
Kind of things. Yeah.
Seemed like they'd solved everything. Like, there was a shit going on in the vault. Like we said, we don't know really what goes on there now. But it seems like, okay, she brought the head. He, Moldaver had the power then that she needed to turn back on. Sandy Shades. I can't remember what it's called. Shady Sands. Shady Shores?
Yeah, Shady Sands.
Shady Sands. To turn the power back on at Shady Sands, but then she was killed, and the Brotherhood came in and then made Maximus like, oh, he's going to be a knight now because he killed her, which he didn't. Yeah. He was knocked out.
Dude,
and then
the
dad
that guy's
leaves
whole life
with
is
the
a fucking
power
lie.
armor. I don't remember, though. The dad didn't take the...
He didn't take the fusion
cord, didn't take the cold fusion, did he? They still had it, right?
I think so.
But I guess now the Brotherhood might take it. Presumably. That's not good.
And just keep it for themselves, I'm sure.
Well, I'm assuming that's not good. Yeah. And then now, Lucy is going out with Cooper to go do whatever. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but that was I don't know. It was quite a lot of cliffhangers.
I hope I don't remember the bow from Cloud9.
Thaddeus.
I hope he comes back.
I hope so. I feel
he's really funny.
He would be really fun. I'm sure he will. He would be really fun to see, like, in the next episode or the next season, like starting to kind of ghoulify. Starting to like ghoulify a little bit.
What if? Oh my God.
What?
He's like good at being an apprentice. What if he becomes Walton Goggins' like apprentice?
That would be fun. I'd be down for that. That'd be really good.
So down for that. Dude, and oh my God, the fucking experiments in 4 that made the snappers or whatever
the fuck they're
called, the gulper.
Oh yeah, that was fucked up.
Ew.
Yeah.
And its mouth with all the fingers.
Yeah.
So creepy.
That was fucked up. But it was like interesting that they did like a double switch in that one. They're like, oh, these are really nice people, but maybe something's weird going on.
And they're very accepting.
They're very accepting, but then it's like, oh, that guy's got a nose on his forehead, that he has one eye. There's like weird, he's an extra
also
ear.
His voice.
There's like, Chris Parnell.
Oh,
he's
my God.
so fucking funny. But they have like a bunch. He's like, nope, this definitely says Goosey.
I know, it's Goosey. So good. Like she wouldn't know her.
Yeah.
And she's so okie dokie.
Okie dokie. But yeah, the fact that like they were like, oh, it seems fine, and then it's like, oh no, something's wrong here. They're like drinking blood and putting ash on themselves, which I will say, still fucking weird. That doesn't become not weird.
Nope.
And then they're like, oh, they're making experiments and whatever. But then it's like, oh no, actually, there's the previous people who are making experiments.
Right, and then they're
just trying to like take care of them now.
Yeah.
So
they were all born in the vault because of the experiments. So now they're trying to take care of the women and stuff. It's so sad.
He's like, oh my god, that was so sad. He's like, that guy right there. He's like, that was my uncle.
Yeah,
it's
he's like that's my Uncle Jerry or whatever.
It's like this big fucking monster. He's like, that was my Uncle Jerry. That's so funny. Yeah, I have an Uncle Jerry. He's not.
No, as soon as I said that.
He's not a mutant. He's a very normal person, so that's good. He doesn't have a mouthful of fingers. Which I will say that whatever character artist designed that was cooking. Yeah. Because that was fucking gross. Yeah. A big like axolotl looking creature, which are normally very cute, but making it huge, giving it the body of a man, and having fingers for teeth. Really gross.
Really clever.
But very creative. But you should be put in jail probably. That's
or at least a sane asylum.
Yeah, you should be checked if that's the stuff that comes into your mind.
He's like, I've got just the thing. I've been waiting for a show.
It came to me in a dream. I was riding upon its back.
It wasn't even an assignment. He was just waiting for a show to be fucked up enough to have that. Yeah,
exactly.
No, but you know it's funny, or no, it's actually not funny. But the amount of foot injuries in this show, I was like, I wonder if the guy from Nickelodeon was involved in the filming.
What guy from Nickelodeon?
Dude, the guy who was like, I don't remember his name, but whoever was like doing iCarly and all these shows, the director, he's like obsessed with feet.
Ew.
Yeah, he's like super gross.
What a freak.
Yeah. But anyways,
like
there was
Tarantino putting himself in a movie where he has to lick tequila off of Selma Hayek's foot.
Oh.
And then making a role for that and then putting himself in that role. Yeah. Because he's also a foot freak.
Oh, it's a Hollywood thing.
There's a lot, it's a lot more.
But seriously, there was 3 disgusting foot things. First, the from the Brotherhood, the guy or person from the Brotherhood who gets their shit fucked.
I forgot about that.
Then that was literally nasty. The next episode,
like their tendon gets all shredded.
Then the next episode, the guy from Lost gets his foot blown the fuck off, and it's like fucking hanging.
And then he puts the
Yep, and he screws it on.
Yeah,
the fake thing.
Like grinds his leg meat.
Yep.
Oh god.
And then Thaddeus's foot was his toe was like hanging off.
Yeah. That was horrible.
Oh my god! And then the guy actually heals him, which I was like, oh shit! Because remember in that episode, he's like, I have all the foot remedies and stuff. When he saw the guy with the doctor with the thing screwed on, and we're like, he's a fucking liar. He fucks chickens.
Yeah.
And then he actually fixed Thaddeus's foot, but now Thaddeus is a bully boy.
Yeah.
And he gets shot in the neck, and he's like, oh man, I knew I should have taken that stuff or whatever. Oh, so good. That actor is so funny.
I love that actor.
He's so good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. He's hilarious.
He's like the type of person. So there's like the group of guys who like in younger years were always like the kind of dorky whatever, and then they like grew up and now they're like kind of hot, like the guy from We're the Millers and that kid. And then he grew up and he's
glow up.
Very hot now. Yeah. And then there's guys like
like in the Bear. Yeah, he was like very.
But then there's guys like him, like Bo or Thaddeus, that actor, and he's just like the exact same person.
Yeah, he has not changed at all. There is no glow up. It's just even.
He's just typecast, maintained, just kind of a dink.
Yeah.
But he's great at it, and he's really
good. Good at that.
When you see him in a show, you know you're gonna be entertained.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Ew. There's a lot of nasty shit in this show, but it was really good.
Yeah. And like I was saying when I was kind of like when we were telling people who might want to watch it or whatever, it's not so much that you're like, Jesus, oh my God, like another thing getting blown up or like it's not that level.
No.
But the ones they show are
pretty
rough.
Extreme.
Like, oh my God, the guy's face when she hit him with the coffee pot and he came back to life, or like he came back and his face was like hanging off.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah. First episode too.
Yeah. They really don't wait.
Get right into it. Yeah. Anyways, all in all, I thought it was a very good show. I can't wait for the next season.
Same. And I think we have probably not talked much at all or enough about Walton Goggins' character in that, at least for me, I feel like he is just, I don't know, so good. Yeah. Like, he was just amazing the whole time. So Like, all the way through, I feel like he just kind of...
He's very believable
sold
as, like...
every moment. And
he's very believable as, like, the cowboy who's, like, the actor, and he loves his wife, and, like, da-da-da. And then now, like, as the kind of ghoul who's, like, fuck everybody, I'm out for myself... Also very believable.
Yeah, it was.
But you always see that little tender spot, like for the dog and for like, he definitely is like still a human in there.
Yeah,
but...
well, they did such a good job of like humanizing him in how like he could have just been like a bastard kind of like rogue cowboy kind of guy
who's like really out for himself, but then secretly he's like kind of out for the dog too.
Yeah, but they did like such a good job of tying back like good flashbacks that then made it like connect, where they're like talking about how he's like, oh, can't bring dogs into the vault, fuck that, blah blah blah, and he's like hanging out with his dog in the past, and then you see when he takes the dog out of the refrigerator thing, he's like, oh, okay, and he's kind of like sweet on the new dog now.
Right.
So
well, but then he did say you're not him, but then the dog like lays his head on him and he's like petting him.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Stuff. Yeah.
And the fact like then when it got to the kind of end of his arc for the season at least, where like he was looking for Hank.
Right.
Because he knew him from the past. Like that was really fucking cool. I did not expect that.
Yeah, I didn't expect. Also, that was one thing we were talking about at the beginning of the show, how you said like it just got right into it. It was like the first episode, she runs into the doctor with the dog.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately after she's out of the vault. And then, like, they're almost running into Titus and Maximus. Like, they were, like, following them so closely. It was like, oh, my God, they're all just, like, meeting each other within the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I feel like it was, like, surprisingly refreshing for a show like this, where a lot of shows
instead of like, leading until the end, and then they meet each other, and then it's the end of the series.
Yeah, a lot of shows, it's like, oh, so-and-so's over here doing random side shit, and this character's way over there. Yeah. And then 6 episodes into an 8-episode season, they'll finally all end up in the same place.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly. Or, like, even though I liked it more than most, I think we both did, but like another Amazon Prime show, like the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I liked it more than most people. Didn't stick with me that much.
I feel like it's definitely
so slow.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, it took so long for things to start happening and the characters to kind of come together and like plot to actually move along in that show. But I still enjoyed it.
I still really enjoyed it because I think you and I both like not procedural stuff. Well, I like procedural shows, but like the kind of like slice of life, like the hobbits, they just like move along, and it's like 3 episodes of them moving along, and I'm like, yeah, but they're fucking hobbits and they're funny as fuck, so I want to watch them be them.
Yeah, it's like just nice to watch.
Yeah.
But by the time that season rolled around, it was like, well, I don't really think that much happened in this whole season if you really think about it. But it was entertaining to watch.
Yeah, like, the amount of actual
like, critical plot points is like
actionable items.
1 hour's worth. It was like, but this was like boom, boom, boom. Yeah. It was like by the end of the first or second episode, it's like all the characters are all together. Yeah. They are already all met each other and now are in a fight and doing stuff.
But also
intermingling is super interesting.
Not so much. That was very small cast of characters that you're following, because then other shows, for example, like love the show and stuff, but all of the Game of Thrones, it's like so much action and stuff. I would say most of the seasons, but I'm like, can't remember all the fucking names and all the characters and how they link together and all of that, which is like a very different type of show. But like, that's very hard to follow. So this one was like, both had pace, and like a lot of things happening, but it was very easy to follow as well. Like there wasn't so much. Or like Witcher, for example. Like I never knew what was going on in that show.
No, that's fair.
They were also very good in this show about letting you know when there was a flashback.
Yeah.
I mean, Walton Goggins either had a nose or didn't.
Either nose or he's either Bobbi No-Nose or he's got a nose. It's pretty obvious.
Like, it was like clear when I mean, I guess they're either in a vault or not. But yeah. They just did it very well. I just thought it was very nice.
I'm hoping that this is like a renaissance for me and for other video game fans, that we have finally had some pretty good adaptations when we haven't in such a long time before this, with like a lot of shitty movies, shitty shows.
Dragon Ball Z with that one guy as Goku.
Horrifying. to even shudder at the thought. Rest in peace to Akira Toriyama.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now with like The Last of Us was really good. This is really good. I mean, you know, Sonic, like, that's its own thing. That's been doing pretty good. I liked the first one. I haven't seen the second one. I heard it was good. Mario was great. Witcher was okay. You know,
can't even picture
but
what's
still
his
game
name.
related in some ways.
Oh, can't even picture what's his name being him now.
Liam Hemsworth. That's going to be really interesting. They did announce, actually, that that's ending after 5 seasons.
Okay, well, that's...
So they're only going to have 2 more seasons. But, yeah, we'll see about that.
But... yeah, it's like all... And it's cool, because then, like... For those who don't play video games or like who are in the video game universe, like I hear a lot about it and stuff, but I don't necessarily know the stories and things. Like, at least again with this show, Fallout, it's not very story related to like what you've played, but it's like now I can talk kind of about the universe, about ghouls, about Pip-Boys, about or like with at least some of The Witcher was related to what you have read or played or whatever, or. Yeah, these things, it's like, you can now talk with other people outside of video games about the characters or the universes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that, I don't know if it's like confirmed, but I feel like I heard there was been talks about them maybe doing a Mass Effect show at some point. There's talks about something for God of War as well.
Ooh, that would be cool.
They've been doing the Halo, but the first season I heard was ass. I don't know about the second season.
Who's doing it?
It's on Paramount.
Okay.
And the main guy that actually got to play, Master Chief is the guy, he was in Weeds. He was kind of like the tall drug dealer guy that she was with for a while. I feel like he was in something else. He was in something else recently, I feel like. But he's good. But I heard it was just kind of shit, which is a bummer. But it's like, I'm hoping that we're on the right track. Where like maybe if they keep this up, we can actually continually get more interesting and good stories.
Right.
In like video game adaptations to TV, because it was really brutal for a while, and it'd be nice if they could actually kind of figure that shit out. But I guess we'll see. There's at least one more season we know for this coming, so I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of that. And then I don't know, I guess we'll see what goes from there. Yeah. I'm very curious if they do like something with Mass Effect or God of War or any other. I think there's
they're breaking through the wall.
Yeah, you can see that scene in live action. Wouldn't that be fun?
At least I won't have to hear it 35 times in a row.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just play it over and over again.
Rewind, play.
Yeah,
rewind,
exactly.
Play. Nah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was a nice show.
Yeah.
I was very happy with that.
Yeah, me too.
Now, I think the only thing that is annoying is when you then binge a show like that, it feels like it takes even longer than for it to come out. Yeah. Because we literally finished it in like 1 week.
I think maybe what's next for us is Mac keeps mentioning that he hasn't seen Princess Bride, so I'm gonna do that with him.
Yes.
And that's a movie like a very old movie that I've seen before, and he's heard a lot of references.
I feel like I've seen so many references from that movie, and I don't know if I've seen it.
Yeah.
Maybe
when we're watching it.
Maybe I have it. I just, honestly, I really don't know. Yeah. It's like something that, like, if I have seen it, I have zero memory of it.
Yeah, because you always think of A Knight's Tale.
I always think of A Knight's Tale, which is a great movie.
Also good.
Yeah.
And then I was just thinking, as we were just talking about shows and stuff, my parents showed us Reservoir Dogs. Reservation Dogs, which I really enjoyed, so at least I will be continuing on. I don't know if you're that interested in it, but I really liked it. Yeah. And then we've been watching Letterkenny, and I've been watching it with Mac, and he's been referencing it. It's been making me very, very happy. So. Yeah.
We did watch some more Spy Family as well. We'll have to maybe talk about that later. There's a movie coming out, and I'm curious to see that, actually. I think it's an original story. I don't think it's an adaptation from the manga.
Cool.
So I'm curious to see that, too.
And then we'll be probably starting up our recaps of My Hero, because the next season is coming out.
Yes. Yeah, we should do... we need to, I think, the
rewatch party.
The rewatch episodes are coming, because I actually really appreciate that. For a show that's now 7 seasons in.
And then you don't have to go find someone's shit one on YouTube.
Some bullshit YouTube recap. Yeah, they're doing, what is it, like My Hero Academia Memories, I think it's called. And I think it's just
so nice.
Just starting, like, right now. So we'll have to rewatch through those and maybe give some hype impressions about how it's how it's been before we start the new season. But I'm super excited because, man, that show, I feel like also season 6 really was getting into some shit.
Yeah.
So it's going to be...
But I need to be reminded what shit it was getting into.
All I remember is that it ended with, like, the hero from America coming over. There's like a big, like, almost All Might looking, like, strong woman. Like, wearing, like, American flag uniform. I was like, fuck yeah. That sounds... So I'm very interested to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But...
All right. Charlie's looking very cute. Sorry, listeners, you can't see, but his mouth is hanging open.
His eyes are squinting.
And he has no legs. That's what we call turkeying.
Yeah.
The turkeys do have legs.
No, he's a loaf.
He is a loaf. Maybe he's bread loafing.
Yeah. Anyways,
before we sit here for another 20 minutes of dead air staring at our cat, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Hope you made it all the way through. If you have watched Fallout, if you haven't, then maybe you should have stopped some time ago. Hopefully you weren't too spoiled, or maybe you don't want to watch.
Come back after.
Maybe you don't want to watch it at all. Maybe you just want to come back and I don't know, hear the end here. But thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoy the show. If you have comments, if you listen on Spotify, I think you can actually let us know what you think. So you can leave a review or put a comment or something. So if you do actually listen and you'd like to do that, let us know.
Or ask us a question.
I don't know. There's not as many people listening.
I know.
But there's tools, I guess, if they do.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And we'll talk to you next time.
Peace.